From the shining domicile that is Pittsburgh Comics, my old-mannered comic shop owner, Colin McMahon, transforms into the world's greatest comic book talking TV host. Join us, true believers, for Comics Now!
Hey everybody, welcome to Comics Now for February 2022. It is cold. It is very cold. So it's a perfect time to snuggle up on the sofa under a blanket and read something. And we are here to help. We have tons of stuff to read. And this month we're going to be spotlighting Image Comics. Image Comics has really a wide variety of books. They're just approaching their 30th anniversary. And they also have one of their biggest books ever is back after a 4-year hiatus. So Saga came back, and we're going to be doing this for book club this month. So if you're interested, Saga Volume 1, it's $9.99, but it's 25% off if you say you're getting it for book club. So lots of stuff to read. And ask for help, ask us for recommendations. There's all sorts of stuff, good stuff coming. Also in February is the Comics Pro Retailer Group's annual meeting. Normally I zip out of town for a couple days, but we're doing a second one that's virtual because of everything. And so if you have any questions you want me to ask different publishers, we'll be meeting with all of them via Zoom meetings. Comic store owners are not immune to Zoom. So that's coming up in February. This is going to be the first one in a while where I haven't actually been involved because I'm stepping down from the board this month to focus on the store since I had a kind of crazy 2021. So that's what's going on at the store. We're doing Image Comics. We're focusing on Image graphic novels for February. But let me tell you about all the other great stuff that's coming out in February. We're going to start off with DC. Detective Comics is continuing its weekly Shadows of the Bat story. So that's going to be going on, I think, up and through March. So that's still going. But then they also have a bunch of new number ones. We have the new Champion of Shazam. This is by Josie Campbell and Doc Shaner. If you've never seen Doc Shaner's art, it's beautiful. But they're doing a new Shazam book. Mary Bromfeld has always struggled to determine who she is outside her family. Kind of hard to do when you're all superheroes. Now, after Billy Batson's heroic sacrifice, the power of Shazam has vanished, and she's been left powerless. Most heroes would be distraught, but not Mary. It's finally time for a voyage of self-discovery as she prepares for her freshman year of college and a civilian life. But nothing is ever truly normal for this young hero, because she's just been chosen as the new champion of Shazam. Will she embrace the power, or will it die alongside this world's hope of survival against the mysterious magical forces waiting to take control? We also have Aquaman. This is spinning out of the end of Aquaman Becoming and Black Manta. Something is going on in the Aquaman world, and so we have Aquaman. When a terrorist in Middle America is revealed as an Atlantean sleeper agent seemingly gone rogue, the Aquamen, Arthur Curry and Jackson Hyde, are on the case. But it soon becomes clear that the tragedy was not a single bad actor, but the beginnings of a much larger and more dangerous chain reaction, and the heart of an explosive Atlantean conspiracy. And we have a new one to celebrate the Chinese New Year. DC's having a little bit of fun and coming out with a new book called Monkey Prince. This is by Jean Lun Yang and Bernard Chang. Introducing the newest hero in the DCU, the great sage, equal to the heavens, better than his predecessor, the legendary Monkey King, and even better than the Justice League. Everyone put your hands together for the Monkey Prince. Marcus' son moves around a lot because his adoptive parents are freelance hench people. So this month he finds himself as the new kid at Gotham High School, where a mysterious man with pig features asks Marcus to walk through a water curtain to reveal himself as who Marcus really is. Someone who has adventured through the journey to the West can transform into 72 different formations and clone himself using his hairs, and is called the Monkey Prince. So we'll see what that one's all about. We also have a new Suicide Squad book, Suicide Squad Blaze. This is by Simon Spurrier and Aaron Campbell. The attacks begin without warning, brutal, sudden, cannibalistic. A metahuman with all the power of Superman, but none of his humanity. an unstoppable being ruled by hunger and instinct striking at random across the world. To stop this threat, Harley Quinn, Peacemaker, Captain Boomerang, and King Shark have been assigned to corral, nursemaid, and if necessary, execute 5 deadly new recruits, the expendable products of a secret government procedure called Blaze. We also have Weird Love Tales. They're doing one of their Valentine's Day special, the big chunky one with a whole bunch of different little romance stories set in the DC universe. Next up, we have Marvel Comics. Marvel has a bunch of new number ones coming out this month. We have Spider-Gwen Gwenverse. When Gwen Stacy was bitten by a radioactive spider, she gained arachnid-like superpowers and started a crime-fighting career as Spider-Woman. But what would have happened if instead she had picked up the enchanted hammer Mjolnir? Or if she received the super soldier serum? Or built a high-tech suit of armor? Or you get the idea. We also have Edge of Spider-Verse number 2, facsimile edition. This was her first appearance in the Marvel Universe. We also have a brand new Ghost Rider. This is by Benjamin Percy and Corey Smith. Johnny Blaze has the perfect life. A wife and 2 kids, a job at an auto repair shop, and a small town community that supports him. But Johnny isn't doing well. He has nightmares of monsters when he sleeps, and he sees bloody visions when he's awake. This life is beginning to feel like a prison, and there's a spirit in him that's begging to break out. Devil's Reign is continuing, and all the little miniseries are continuing, but we do get one new one starting this month. It's Devil Reign's Spider-Man. Spidey has been put in an awful position. As if that weren't enough, the newly returned Rose has Spider-Man in his crosshairs and wants to prove that he's badder than his dad, Kingpin, ever was. Also, Spider-Man 88. Who is Queen Goblin? For almost 60 years, Spider-Man has been defined by goblins, and Ben Reilly has a brand new one all his own. Also have a new series, Savage Spider-Man. This is by Joe Kelly and Gerardo Sandoval. This follows up the non-stop Spider-Man. Peter Parker finds himself at the middle of the biggest, most wide-ranging adventure he's ever had, and out of the gate it has turned him into a savage beast. Carnage is hitting 30, and that makes me feel really, really old. But Cletus Cassidy is the most notorious serial killer in the Marvel Universe, and it's been 30 years since his introduction. 30 years of monsters, mayhem, and murder. And you haven't seen anything yet. With an awesome assembly of creators, this issue will have it all. A look back on Carnage's past, his present, and the fiery hints of his visceral and violent future in Carnage Forever #1. Iron Fist. Who is the new Iron Fist? After giving up his powers to save the world, Danny Rand believes he's seen the last of Iron Fist. But when demons begin attacking cities around the world, a mysterious newcomer in a familiar mask appears. Who is this new Iron Fist? And does his power really come from the Dragon of Kunlun? Or from something far more sinister? Also have a Sabretooth miniseries by Victor LaValle and Leonard Kirk. Sabretooth went into the pit, sentenced to an eternity of torment. Sure, that sounds like hell, but maybe that's where he feels most at home. What's he been doing down there? What secret deal has changed his fate forever? And what if he's not alone? We have a new X-book, Secret X-Men. This is by Teenie Howard. This is just a one-shot. When the Shi'ar Empire faces an unexpected threat, they must call on the X-Men. Team co-captains Sunspot and Cannonball must lead Marrow, Tempo, Forge, Banshee, Strong Guy, Armor, and Boom Boom on a secret mission to save Empress Exandra. And then the book I am most looking forward to this February. I'm a big fan of the old X-Force Ecstatic run by Peter Milligan and Mike Allred, and then they teased us a couple years ago with a giant-size Ecstatics one-shot, and at the very end it had continuing in a new book, and we've been waiting and waiting and waiting, but it's finally here. We have Excellent #1 by Peter Milligan and Mike Allred. They were loved by their adoring fans. They were reviled by the harsh press. They lived, they loved, they fought, and they died. A lot. All for the sake of fame. They were the Ecstatics. A team of mutant celebrities fighting for a brighter world and an even brighter spotlight. But they're old news now, because there's a new mutant team that will live harder, love harder, fight harder, and die a whole lot harder than those has-beens. The best new superhero team you didn't know you needed. Meet Excellence. And then we also have Marvel Voices Legacy. This is another Star-packed Voices special that graces the stand for Black History Month. Now on to Image, the Spotlight Company of the Month. They have a bunch of new number ones as well. We have New Masters number one. Nigerian brothers Shobo and Shoff present a groundbreaking blend of science fiction, adventure, drama, and vibrant Afrofuturism. In a striking vision of West Africa under the thumb of alien colonizers, a motley crew of outcasts find themselves caught up in a power struggle for control of an ancient artifact with immense power. Also have Rogue Sun number one. Yesterday, New Orleans' greatest hero, Rogue Sun, was murdered. Today, rebellious teenager Dylan Siegel discovers that Rogue Sun was his estranged father, Marcus, and that he's inherited his father's mantle. Tasked with protecting the world from the forces of the supernatural and solving his father's murder, Dylan will be forced to come to terms with the man he spent the majority of his life hating. We also have Step by Bloody Step. This is by Cy Spurrier and Matthias Bergara. An armored giant and a helpless child. Together they cross an astonishing world brimming with beasts, bandits, and, deadliest by far, civilizations. If they stop walking, the earth itself forces them onward. Why? The child can't ask. She and her guardian have no language, no memory, nothing, except for each other. The Clay People Colossus. This is an interesting one. A biracial boy in the Midwest uses a supernatural gift from his grandfather to push back against two older boys who are terrorizing him. In a tale inspired by the song Colossus by the band The Clay People, intolerance, drug addiction, poverty, and boredom collide in a perfect storm of grisly revenge. Then we get the official Image timeline. Just in time to celebrate Image Comics' 30th anniversary, Image archivist and co-founder Jim Valentino details the company's history, warts and all, in the single most comprehensive chronology of the company ever published, featuring barely seen covers, photos, milestones, and behind-the-scenes events from the company's marvelous beginnings to the present. This is the chronicle that all future histories will be judged against. We're also getting a Prophet number one facsimile edition, because why not? Another one, Rockstar and Soft Boy, is a one-shot from Cena Grace. A frenzied story about two best friends and their antics in Hollyweird, California. Rockstar plans the greatest house party ever as a means of lifting roommate Soft Boy's spirits. But things take a gnarly turn when the dreaded party animal shows up to make a mess of things and dredge up long-held secrets between two BFFs who are supposed to share everything. Then we get Supermassive. This is a one-shot. Radiant Black is spinning out some one-shots and minis now, that series. 2021's hottest new superhero, Radiant Black, launches into its first ever crossover event with the debut of Inferno Girl Red and the first appearance of Rogue Sun. The future of Image's superhero universe is here. Now, Dark Horse has a couple new. We get Norse Mythology Volume 3. This is coming out. This is by Neil Gaiman and P. Craig Russell, adapting Neil Gaiman's book about the Norse mythology. And we also get the return of Manor Black. This is a Cullen Bunn book with Brian Hurt, who he did Six Gun with. Manor Black, Fire in the Blood. The powerful and ancient blood sorcerer Roman Black has taken a young fire mage under his wing after she has done the impossible, taken her magic house's totem in spirit inside herself. But the totem is power and may be impossible to control, especially when Roman's children begin to see the young mage as a threat. IDW, we're finally getting the last issue of The Last Ronin, which has been a huge hit for IDW. Turtles fans are loving it. The story of the Turtles in the future, and there's only one left, and he has to fight to find out what happened. The jaw-dropping finale of the biggest Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle story ever is here. One final showdown between Mutant and Foot Clan will determine the fate of New York City. Will the Ronin be able to find some measure of peace, or is he fated to meet the same end as his brothers? Also getting a fun one here, G.I. Joe Saturday Morning Adventures. Cobra might have found their most versatile weapon yet. Can even G.I. Joe stop the Aladdin Initiative? Find out in the special Saturday morning send-up based on the classic 1980s cartoon. They're giving Star Trek a little more depth. We're getting dive deeper into the world of Star Trek with the first of several extra-long issues focusing on the memorable aliens of the franchise. The first one is Star Trek Klingons. The story of Khalis the Unforgettable, from the death of his coward brother Morath to the victory at Three Turn Bridge, witness history unfolding in this can't miss issue. We also have Transformers War's End. The threefold spark has returned and nowhere on Cybertron is safe. Ex-Archon, who single-handedly started Cybertron's last war, walks among the living again. Reunited with his former generals Shockwave and Skywarp, he seeks once more to conquer Cybertron. But there may be hope if Cyclonus can convince Megatron to work with the Autobots. On to Dynamite. They have a new one, Draculina #1. This had a really long, convoluted story, but Draculina is Vampirella's sister, and there's a lot of story with her being the daughter of Lilith. So if that's your thing, this book is for you. We also have a couple Valentine's Day specials. We have Red Sonja Valentine's Special, Burning Love. Red Sonja temporarily developed fire powers, which is handy since she's in a land where warlords possess deadly ice powers. Sonja finds herself amidst a lover's quarrel in which someone exchanged their heart and soul, quite literally, for overwhelming power. Can Sonja defeat a greedy cherub ogre and restore peace to the freezing lands? We also have a Vampirella Valentine's Special, which is love's hard enough for a human, but a vampire? A superpowered vampire? Woof. Join Vampy as she traverses her way through love, hate, and the constant combination of both. Boom Studios is bringing back a title, The Killer, which was a French book that was published under Archaea, which was a label that they incorporated into Boom. And it's very popular, out of print for a long time, but now they're bringing back a story. So it's The Killer, Affairs of the State. Caught and put to work as an on-call assassin for the French government, Killer has to adjust to working with a handler, a partner, and living life as a civilian. An underhanded target, a City Hall employee, leads Killer and his partner Nicholas towards a sinister web of citywide corruption. But while Nicholas assures Killer that it's all for the greater good, will Killer ever be able to get back to his nihilistic lifestyle, free from debt and government associations? We also have Faithless returns. This is a Brian Azzarello book with Series 3. And we get an all-new Firefly series coming. A new creative team kick off an all-new shiny direction for the crew of Serenity. Captain Kaylee leads the crew on a heist that proves too much for their moral code. But when mercenaries steal the relic anyway, it turns into a recovery mission. Meanwhile, unexpected revelations about Jane's family and past further complicate things. Well, how will Jane's past collide with the crew's desperate present, especially when it leads them to steal from not the thieves' den they had in mind? Ablaze has an interesting one, Life Zero #1. This is by Stefano Vietti with art by Marco Cicchetto, who's currently on Daredevil. Where were you when the cloud arrived? Where were you when the world changed forever? Where were you when people started dying? At the limits between science fiction, action, and horror is Life Zero. Aftershock is always good for a couple series a month, and they're always entertaining. This one we have a new Garth Ennis book. He loves his war stories, and he's doing this one with artist P.J. Holden, The Lion and the Eagle. 1944, Imperial Japan still commands most of Asia. Determined to reclaim their hold on Burma, the British send Special Forces Unit, the Chindits, deep behind Japanese lines. Their mission is to attack the enemy wherever they find him. What awaits them is a nightmare equal to anything the Second World War can deliver. Colonel Keith Crosby and Dr. Alistair Whittemore have old scores to settle, being veterans of the long retreat through Burma 2 years before. But neither the jungle nor the foe have gotten any less savage. And when the shooting starts and the Japanese descend on smaller British force, in the midst, every man will be tested to his limit. Garth Ennis presents a tale of hellish jungle warfare as seemingly civilized human beings descend into an apocalyptic heart of darkness. Sounds fun. Then we also have The Land of Living Gods. It is said that when the world dies, the spirits of the first people will return to witness the last days of humanity. Well, the spirits have arrived, and the end is here. But not everyone has given up hope. Nale, a teenage girl living in the deserted city once called Johannesburg, has always believed that there is a land hidden away where the gods still live, and where there are gods, there are miracles. Archie Comics. Archie's giving us a Valentine's Day special, which are always fun and cute. AWA has a new one called Primos. Centuries ago, two Mayan brothers constructed a spacecraft that sent them hurtling into outer space. Returned to Earth only to find their culture and civilization destroyed, One of the brothers vows revenge and seeks to decimate the planet with intergalactic technology gathered on his travels. To prevent this, his sibling creates a contingency plan that activates the world's protectors, 3 descendants of their own family who have been granted great power. Now the fate of the universe lies in the hands of 3 cousins scattered in Central and North America who have never even met. Behemoth is a new company that's putting out some really interesting books. They have a couple new ones. Follow Me Into Darkness is a sequel to, I forget, it started with a Y. You Can Enter Darkness something. That was also a movie, and it had a lot of buzz, sold out really quick. But this is a follow-up to it. Less than a day until the apocalypse. The darkness guides Yuko and Sebastian to Alaska. There they will look for the girl who lives hiding in the forest and who may be the key to prevent the imminent final judgment. We also have Heavy Metal Drummer. 1986 AD. Under the streets of Los Angeles breeds the seeds of a gruesome interdimensional conflict between order and chaos. Enter Dave, a junkie, heavy metal drummer whose life is about to get a whole lot worse. Black Box Comics has a new one called Wilder #1. Set in the futuristic San Francisco, Dr. Deja Wilder leads Wilder Investigations, an anti-poaching and animal rights management firm dedicated to protecting and saving the depleted population of species throughout the world from would-be human predators. CEX Publishing has an interesting one. Edgar Allan Poe's The Conqueror Worm. I'm finding the literary adaptations do really, really well. People really like these. In a visual adaptation of Poe's famous text, throngs of angels gather to witness a metaphysical performance of good and evil, but the play becomes all too real when humanity releases the ultimate destructive power. Mad Cave is a company that I really like the people in charge, and I always try to spotlight them. They have one called Speed Republic this month. In the future, Europe has united under one man, the autocrat. He rules the apocalyptic landscape from corporate monopolies with a vision of unity that is a gospel to some, but hollow to others. To distract the 99% from their poor and empty lives, they are given an opportunity to compete in the Great Race, a marathon street race through Europe, where only one driver can make it to the end and win a life of luxury. Our hero, Sebastian, enters with the hope that winning this race can make up for his wasted past, but along the way he starts to question what kind of future he is actually buying into. Scout Comics has a new one called Broken Eye. Liverpool in the early 70s. Seamus is a young orphan who works unloading garbage in the docks. But his situation will get worse unexpectedly when he finds a cutaway hand floating in the river, and he will be immersed in a criminal conspiracy involving the IRA. And all because of a secret. Seamus has a broken eye with which he can see the past. I also have one called Playthings. Allison Hart wakes up inside a bright candy-colored room to discover that she's tied down with licorice. Small toys around her move because they are alive, and her hands are no longer real. She struggles to piece together the surreal and horrific events that led her to this place, and more importantly, what happened to her young daughter, Emma. SourcePoint Press gives us one, In His Own Image. In the not-too-distant future, new technologies give birth to new way to vent violent and aggressive instincts. Subjects without any legal protection as androids can be the victim of any nefariousness. But how long will man be able to exercise full control over the machine? This story is about the violent nature of the human being and deals with the unstable struggle between man, machine, and God, between the creator and the creature made in his own image. Also have Cover of Darkness. A gorilla fights a werewolf. A mummified Egyptian pharaoh seeks revenge on generals, and a mother desperately searches for her family. They also give us Christmas Caroline Annual. It was neat little summation. I liked it. A disavowed elf seeks revenge for the murder of her brother at the hands of Saint Nick. And then lastly, we have from Vault. This one that was offered before, so I may have talked about it, but it got really delayed, and now it's finally coming out. Fox and Hare #1. When black market coder Aurora Yee uncovers top secret data that is tapped into the past lives of citizens of Mazu Bay, her world is turned upside down. The mega corporation Sinistry Designs wants its data back and is hot on her trail. Aurora has no choice but to turn to the Fox and the Hare, the most feared mercenaries in the city, for protection. So those are all the new titles that are coming out, or not all of them, but a lot of the new titles coming out. And of course, all the regular titles are still chugging on. From Marvel, we still have Devil's Reign going on. The X-Books are getting ready to restart. DC, Batman's still going. We still have the detective storyline. Justice League is going to come to a dramatic finale coming up here soon here. So lots of good books out there. If you have any questions about anything, please reach out. We're happy to help. If you want to reach out online, the website's pittsburghcomics.com. Facebook is Pittsburgh Comics. Twitter and Instagram are PGH Comics. So please, any comments, questions, we're here. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for Comic Previews Theater. See ya.